It is a Friday morning episode of the Free 3. It is July the 12th, 2024. It is your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where we're just trying to break down our favorite picks and plays of the day. We're just trying to get to that bag together and we're trying to make that money. And on today's episode, I've got a few MLB winners and I've also got a WNBA winner for you guys as well. Yesterday on the channel, not too bad of the day, 2-1 on the day. That's kind of what this week has been like for us. It's not like a big wins, but it's also not like huge losses either. But that's what the July normally is like here in the sports betting world. It's kind of like a slow grind, but as long as we're finishing the day up, you can't be too mad at it. We cashed on the Cubs and Orioles first five under 4.5 there. It got a little sweaty at the top of the fifth inning, but we were able to get through that. Mariners on the run line, no sweat bet there. They jumped out to an early lead, never looked back, but we did lose on our hitter parlay of the day. Yandy Diaz got his hits, but Jose Altuve didn't. So I'm gonna maybe try to switch up with some of the hitter parlays. Maybe look at a few total bases, because like Yandy Diaz flew over his total bases yesterday. So did Trey Turner. I told you that was another guy for you guys to look at. So I might try to switch things up a little bit with the hitter parlays, instead going with total bases. So we'll see how that looks. You can see our year-to-date record right here. Not too bad for the month of July. A few games over 500. Looking to keep that momentum going today, especially in the WNBA, as we do have a winner that's been cashing for us pretty consistently on the channel. If you've been a fan of the show, then you probably know what WNBA bet I'm going to give you. And if you don't know, that means you haven't been watching the video. So if you haven't been watching the videos, one, hit that subscribe button, but two, share this with somebody who you know is a sports bettor and is just looking for winners. If you know they watch Calling Our Shot, maybe Ron's Rundown, some of the other daily betting shows that are out there like the Daily Juice, then you know what? They probably might like my videos as well, as we all are trying to just find you winners every single day here on the channel and just trying to be consistent. Now let's dive into these winners for today. For my first best bet of the day, what I really liked with yesterday's card is that we won our two value bets of the day. Both of those winners that I gave out were plus 100 value. So today I wanted to look for another plus 100 value winner, and I'm going to run it back with a run line, but it's not really a run line. It's a different way of taking the run line, and that's the Mets and Rockies matchup. We're going to go Sean Manaea to record a win, or you could take the much run line as well. You can get one at plus 100 odds. You get the other one at minus 115 odds. Now, I really like the Sean Manaea to record a win because we get it at really good value, and I think if the Mets do win this game, it happens in the first 5 innings when they jump out to a quick lead. Now, I do understand if you've been tailing the Mets this year like we have, why you might decide to not go with the Mets on the run line. Why? Because their bullpen is that bad, and their bullpen can blow any game, but the Mets offense is strong enough to keep them in any game. You kind of can see the conundrum I'm in with this one, right? But I really think Sean Manaea can get the win just because of the form that he's been in, and I think he's going to actually be able to go deep into this matchup. Now, I do like his pitching outs at 17.5. You can get that about like minus 115 odds. I do like that as well. But one reason what kept me off of taking that bet is that he's only had 5 quality starts and 17 starts this year. Now, granted, in back-to-back starts, he has gone at least 6 innings. He went 6 innings in his last matchup against the Pirates, 2 hits, no earned runs given up. But the Mets won that one in the 8th and 9th inning, so he didn't even get the recorded win. And his start before that against the Nationals, he went 7 innings there, 5 hits, only 1 earned run given up. But the Mets won that one in extra innings. So you see here why I'm kind of, if you're looking at this as a 2-unit play, I'm splitting it 1 unit on Sean Manaea to get the win. I'm splitting it another unit on the Mets minus 1.5. I'm just not a big fan on the fact that we're not getting plus money value on the run line, but this is cheap enough for me personally to lay the run line on this matchup. And the reason why I'm that confident is not only because of the form that Manaea's been in with the 3.43 ERA, but how bad the Rockies have been this year overall. 13-34 on the road. They just dropped 3 of 4 games on the road at the Reds, and now they go to the mound and they send Tanner Gordon to the mound, who has a 7.11 ERA. And if the name Tanner Gordon does not sound too familiar to you, that's because he made his first career start last time against the Royals. The Rockies lost that game 10-1. He pitched 6 1/3 innings, but he gave up 8 hits and 5 earned runs to go with 2 home runs. Now you're facing a Mets offense that's one of the hottest offenses of all of baseball over the last 30 days against both left-handed and right-handed pitching, and you're giving me a team that does not score a lot of runs and a pitcher that does not have a lot of MLB experience. Nah, I'm not doing that. Sean Manaea to record the win, Mets on the run line, first 2 picks of the day. Now, second best bet of the day is also going to be in the MLB on the diamond, and yesterday we cashed in on a first 5 under, so today I figured it was only right that we run it back, and it's only right that we run it back with a game that we looked at yesterday as well, and it's going to be the Angels and the Mariners, and we're going to go the first 5 under 4.5 runs, and my boy who commented on the channel yesterday. I appreciate the love. You asked for a nerfie. Here is my nerfie of the day. Both of these you're going to get around similar odds. Minus 130 on the first 5 under, and then minus 135 on the nerfie. Now, in this matchup, we have Brian Wu, who's on the mound for the Seattle Mariners. We have Tyler Anderson, who is on the mound for the Angels. Both of these pitchers have been very solid this year, especially when it comes down to the ERA. Brian Wu, 1.77 ERA. In his last start, he actually left early because he had some hamstring tightness, but he still only gave up 1 earned run over 3 innings, which is the form that we've been pretty consistently seeing from Brian Wu this year. And hopefully that he's coming off the injury reserve list. He's only been about 15 days, so he wasn't there too long, and it really had nothing to do with his arm. So I have confidence that he'll be able to pitch well today. And then Tyler Anderson, 2.81 ERA. He's coming off of a start where he went 8 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, and 10 strikeouts on the road against the Cubs. So that's the form that both of these guys have been in, and that's also why I like the nerfie here in this matchup, because they've also started off games very strong. When you look at the nerfie numbers, Brian Wu, 7-1 to the nerfie this year. Tyler Anderson, 13-5 to the nerfie this year. But both of these teams, the Mariners and the Angels, have over a 75% hit rate to the nerfie, meaning they don't score a lot of runs in the first inning. They actually really don't score a lot of runs in general. If you look at the numbers over the first 5 innings, both of these teams are bottom 5 in the majors in first 5 runs per game. The Angels like 25th, the Mariners like 26th. So neither of these teams score a lot of runs, and I like the form that both of these pitchers have been in. Both of these offenses are not the best, and I actually think it helps at the fact that the Mariners scored 11 runs yesterday, because they might think that their bats are awake, and it's really not. So we're getting some value here. First 5 under 4.5 between these two teams, but also give me the nerfie as our 3rd and 4th picks of the day. All right, I just gave you 4 winners, and I still got a WNBA play for you guys, all right? So don't say I didn't give you guys the full Friday card. Now, the WNBA winner is going to be a winner that you guys are familiar with here on the channel if you've been tapped into the show, and I think I've come to the realization that I'm a Phoenix Mercury fan. Diana Taurasi's personally my GOAT. She's the best female hooper that I've ever seen, besides Maya Moore, but she didn't play long enough. Like, the longevity of what Diana Taurasi is doing, and like, she's just my GOAT. So I've been following the Phoenix Mercury for years, and it's just no coincidence this year that I've just continued to follow them. I love the way that their team is built. I'm not saying they're going to win the WNBA championship, but I do think there's a lot of opportunity with the way their team is set up, and as a result, that's why I've been leaning with Brittany Griner, and today I'm taking her over 20.5 points, minus 120 odds. Now, it's normally at 19.5 is where we want to take it, but the 20.5 bumpage I'm not mad at, because she's consistently been going over this total. She's gone over in 6 of the last 10 games, including the last start against the Dallas Wings, where she scored 23 points. We had her over 19.5. She's averaging 19.7 points per game, so she's right there at that 20 point per game mark. But who the Phoenix Mercury playing today? The Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever are a team that is more of an over team. We have the total about 173, 174 in this matchup, so we're expecting a lot of offense. We also took Brittany Griner last game because Diana Taurasi was questionable. She's still dealing with that back soreness. That's still in play for today, so we don't even know if that she's playing. And just overall, these are the 2 players that score for the Mercury: Brittany Griner and Kayla Copper. Kayla Copper had 30 plus points last game, and Brittany Griner was still able to get her points. That's why I like it. The volume's there. She's averaging about 13, 14 field goal attempts per game, and she went over this number against the last time they played the Fever back on June the 30th. She had 24 points in 31 minutes on 8 of 13 shooting. That's exactly what we want to see, and I think the fact that the Mercury are favored in this matchup at 2.5 on the road tells me that they do think that the Mercury can win this game, will win this game. I do lean the Mercury to win this game, considering the Fever won the last game at the Mercury, so this is kind of like a little bit of a revenge angle here. And the fact that Diana Taurasi might not be playing, I like the fact that it's a high total. I'm expecting a lot of offense here. Brittany Griner is going to be the catalyst that's going to score some points. Give me the over 20.5. She's consistently been able to do that, especially against teams like the Fever that don't really have a dominant big woman, and I think her and Aaliyah Boston will have a pretty good time going at each other here in this one. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. I think I gave you 5 best bets on today's show. I gave you the Mets on the run line, but I'm really going to take Sean Manaea also to record a win, kind of splitting my units between those 2 picks, so this way I can kind of get double coverage. And then I'm also going to take the first 5 under between the Mariners and the Angels, but I will take the nerfie in that game as well. And then to the WNBA, Brittany Griner over 20.5 points. And if you want something else, I think I really lean the Mercury. I'm going to kind of hold off to see how the line moves a little bit. it, or maybe see if I can grab it live. But I think the Mercury win that matchup, but that's not really an official play. But if you do want some more of my official plays, click the link in the description, join the free Discord group. I'm sure I'll have about 2-3 added plays. I normally add like 1 or 2 extra for premium, and then maybe like 2 or 3 extra for the free. So this way, it's like I've given about 10 picks, right? And our goal is to really go 70%. You know, if we can hit on a good rate like that, then there's no reason why our bankroll cannot continue to grow. All right, my friends, let's continue to dictate our fate, get to that cheddar, and I'll see you on tomorrow's short. Later, gang.